My name is David, and this is The Big Shut-In. It is Tuesday, the 19th of May, day 66 of sheltering in place. 66. And that is a long time. And honestly, for those of us with children, it feels like a lot longer. 600 days, 6,000, all the days. It's been all the days. And every day, over and over, the same day, Groundhog Day, getting up, getting everybody dressed, trying to get them through some kind of online school situation, getting everybody fed, getting your work done, getting the house taken care of, going to bed too late, getting up again too early, over and over and over and over and over. It's very hard. And it's hard for everybody. Today, I spoke to Megan Harper, and I took kind of a satisfaction in our conversation. Not only because she's very pleasant to talk to and we had a really nice time hanging out together, but also because Megan is, I can't think of any other way to put this, is kind of a power mom. She's the kind of mom where, you know, I know her from around the neighborhood. Our kids go to school together. And she's the kind of mom where, you know, when you're getting your kid to class, kind of shoving him in the door at the last minute with his shoes on the wrong feet and his shirt turned on inside out. You know, she's got her kids there and they're all in perfectly coordinated, seasonally thematic outfits and their hair just so. And her Instagram at Girl Gone Child is a thing to see. They get out, they do stuff. An amazingly photogenic family. And it makes sense that she does that now professionally. She works for the websites Red Tricycle and Tiny Beans, where they give out tips and advice and things to do for moms. But even that kind of mom, who just seems to just have it together, does not have it together right now. And it was nice to talk to her, like it is with all of my parent friends who I've been talking to, and just hear that, you know, my wife and I are not alone in some of the struggles we're having. But anyway, without further ado, here's Megan. So how are you? How are you doing tonight?
We actually had an okay day today. The kids, we both worked all day. Kids got, you know, the oldest one got a decent amount of homework done. We went for a run tonight. Everyone had a healthy dinner, and there's only one kid still up at 9:45 at night, so I'd call that a win. Kids are, you know, they're 6, almost 4, and 1. But lately, I don't know why they stay up until 10:30 at night, but that seems to be the usual lately. I don't know what's going on. Kind of making me crazy. But
yeah, no, mine too. We cannot get them to bed. Constant getting up, needing stuff. Come adjust my pillow for me because I can't do it without your help. Like, just endless shenanigans. Like, what do you think that's about?
I think especially for the older ones, they're used to going to school and being stimulated all day, and like we're both working from home and we don't have time to entertain them as much as they're used to. Or I guess I get off work and they beg for me to get off work all day, and then they're like, "Are you done with your meetings?" I'm like, "Yes." And then I give them my full attention for, you know, by the time I get off work until it's exhausting. I'm exhausted. And then by the time it's time for my husband and I to have a second to ourselves, we normally just clean the kitchen and go straight to bed. If that says anything about how busy we've been with 3 kids in a New York City apartment. Like, I haven't even finished the TV show. I feel like I see all these people that, you know, they're like watching, they're complain about being bored. You know, my husband gets very angry watching TikTok videos. He's like, "Who has time to do this?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Well, tell me about your sort of daily schedule, you and your husband and the kids. Like, how are you juggling all of this? What's your routine look like?
I seem to be more productive with my work in the morning. So if I get up around 5:36, I get at least like a good 3 hours by myself to knock out a ton of work before the workday actually starts. So when I'm interrupted 20 million times a day by the children, it makes it a little bit easier because at least I'm starting my day out slightly ahead of the game. But yeah, my husband wakes up at like 4:35 every morning and gets all of his work done because he works. He's a financial controller, and he cannot be bothered when he's building spreadsheets and et cetera. So he wakes up super early to get work done, and then he kind of watches the kids more throughout the day because my work is way more collaborative. I have a lot of people that I work with and a lot of teams that work with us. So I'm on many more Zoom calls than he is. So I still have a 9 to 5. Well, he has like a 4:30 a.m. to like noon type job right now.
That's a nightmare. I'm so not a morning person. I can't even imagine. I mean,
I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. I'm just sleeping away less. And you know what? I thought my skin would be awesome after this because, no makeup. Everyone's just, not, letting their skin breathe. I feel like I've acquired many, many wrinkles due to the lack of sleep and the stress that this has put on all of us.
It's really something, isn't it? Like, I feel like this is the hardest thing I've ever done is managing this and trying to, keep my job happening, trying to keep my wife's job happening, trying to keep my kids entertained and, fingers crossed, educated. I mean, this is really tough.
Once I lowered my expectations, I do like a clean house. I do, I like to check all the boxes for the day. And once I kind of lowered my expectations of all of this, it kind of got easier. Like, okay, fine, you eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner. I don't care. 3 months ago, I would have been, feeling bad going to bed where my kids, ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or didn't eat a vegetable that day. And now I'm like, nah, it's fine. Not a big deal. We'll work on it tomorrow type scenario. It's really, the bar is very, very low right now. As long as everyone is happy and healthy, then we've had a good day. And that's where we kind of are right now. But, we're starting to go outside again way more than we were before. So I think that's helping a lot more for us, at least. We don't have outdoor space. That's a big, crappy situation for us is there's no outdoor space. We're in a decent sized apartment in Sunnyside. It's not big by any means. We're in a giant 1-bedroom with a wall up, but we have 3 kids in here. They're small kids, but they're kids. We're, I think, 1,100 square feet total is our apartment. So there's nowhere to hide. And and everything, my husband and I, we have to argue. We're having to text our arguments because, you can't fight, can't fight in front of the kids. Or if anything happens, we just kind of text each other our, crappy comments to each other.
What are the kids doing all day in the apartment? I mean, what are their activities?
They do lots of arts and crafts, and then we just kind of vacuum that all up when they're done. My son's doing a lot of his online learning in the mornings. My husband and I are working in shifts. We kind of do that. And then the kids actually have the giant bedroom. So the master bedroom is a really big size bedroom, and the kids have that. So they kind of play in there with each other all day. Maybe, we try to do when the baby's napping from like 12:30 to 2, we make the big kids have quiet time. I don't care what you do in there. Just don't be loud. No screens for a little bit. Everyone just kind of chill out. But lots of video game learning games. My son has a couple good games that are on his actual computer that he's working on for school. And my daughter is doing I forget what it is. It's some like kids app or Kaza Kids app, and then there's also the Homer Learning app. She's 3.5. She's fine. Almost 4. I'm not too worried about her, but lots of learning, if you will. I'm air quotes right now, learning app. And then lots of coloring and drawing and whatever weird thing we can find on YouTube that day that entertains them for a couple of hours that tells me it's arts and crafts or some kind of science kit. That's fine. The only one in school is that just turned 6-year-old, and he's in kindergarten. I feel like we're doing a pretty crappy job I don't know what they expect from us. You know, he likes attending the meeting, so we go to the meeting. It's like, oh, is he gonna? And then we do like the bigger projects. I try to knock out, you know, science or like the reading, the writing, and the math. I try to make sure he does at some point, a couple of times a week. But like, there's no way I'm gonna do like a roller coaster art project. Who has time? I don't have time to do that.
I mean, they send 7 or 8 things a day, and if we do 3 of them, like that's a good morning, because it's so hard to get him to sit down. I mean, I'm no kind of teacher. I'm terrible at it, and he knows it.
Yeah, no, my husband and I both are not awesome at it, and I don't know why we can't let him go. Excuse my language, SHIT on ABC Mouse. Like, what's the difference? You know, because it's all self-start. Like everything with this, like everything, nothing is self-starting. He's in kindergarten. He just turned 6. He cannot sit down and like read the assignment. Like I have to sit there with him, and this is like a 4-hour process if I did everything every single day, putting on top of my 8-hour work week. So we're looking at 12 hours a day. If I did, the people with multiple kids, can you imagine if you had kids older than we do and like multiple grades and a baby? To be honest, the 6 and the almost 4-year-old are not that hard. It's the baby that's making us absolutely bonkers. She's 16 months, you know, will not stay off of me, follows me around everywhere, just is not happy, doesn't care about an iPad, doesn't care about television, like just does not care. Nothing, you have to play with her all the time or she's asleep. Like that's making me absolutely bonkers. But I mean, some of the other kids, I feel like as long as they're getting some kind of education and getting outside a couple of times a week is okay. But the baby, like, she just wants to be held all the time. And she wants to eat all the time. I don't know what to do. And my kids won't wear clothes. I'm in Zoom calls every day. And like, I feel like every single person I work with has seen one of my kids naked running around the background. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You know?
Yeah. I mean, business attire has definitely gone out the window. I mean,
I had to present something. My husband had an emergency meeting in the city with one of his clients like 2 Thursdays ago, and I was presenting something to our CEO, and I was home alone with 3 kids, and I was working on a pretty big presentation for the CEO on a Zoom call, and I was presenting to someone else. And I'm sitting there, and I had my son. I'm basically bribing him. I like threw like chocolate cookies on the floor, and I was like, "Everyone, cookies, TV, like 30 minutes. Give mommy 30 minutes." The baby wouldn't stop crying, so I ended up holding the baby the entire time. And then my middle one that doesn't wear clothes, always naked, walks in the room and starts like basically swinging off of me, butt naked while I'm presenting. She's like hanging on my neck, crawling on me on the chair like while I'm presenting. I'm just like, I am so sorry. And my boss, he luckily has 4 like grown boys, and he's like, it's fine. And he, you know, has been nothing but nice. He sent another basket of cookies for the kids. I was like, more sugar, great, please. Just so he kind of gets it. I work in a startup, so most of the people I work with are younger. So I feel like they're really getting a show here. And everyone on my team that doesn't have kids, I feel like they are never having sex again after witnessing my family on Zoom calls.
It's okay. Neither are you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 1,100 square feet apartment.
Let me ask you again. How are you doing?
I am very tired. I'm very tired. I told you I haven't even watched a television show in 2.5 months. You know, I think I'm lucky. My husband cooks. He's always kind of, you know, taken over the kitchen and the cooking. And what we found, the only thing we found to survive this is we like have divvied up responsibilities right down the middle. And like he owns the kitchen while I'll own the bathroom. Like if the bathroom's dirty, it's on me to clean it. If he cooks and cleans while I'll do bedtime every night. Like we've kind of like, you know, who is responsible for what, who is better at what. We've really like laid it out on the table. Things like that we've just kind of divided and conquered. But, I mean, thank God he cooks. We would have all starved and we had to live off my cooking. You know, that 2-week period in New York where everyone was kind of even scared to, you know, order takeout type scenario. I mean, we would have died. We would have starved to death. I can't cook. But, you know.
My wife can't cook either. She's terrible at it.
Can you cook? Are you cooking?
I do. Yeah. No, I enjoy it. I do all the cooking.
My
here,
husband
too.
loves it. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
He makes some gourmet meal that takes him 20 minutes every night, and I'm just like, that would have taken me like 5 hours. Yeah, 'cause it's a constant, like, if kids eat, I had no idea they ate so much. My husband and I both work, so, normally either we have a nanny or a sitter here, and the big kids are at preschool and kindergarten. Like, these kids eat like 5 times a day, and somehow we have to clean the kitchen like 17 times a day. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I turn around, they're like, I'm hungry. I'm like, you just ate, dude. Like, too bad. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's 3 loads of dishes a day. I mean, you touched on something there that it's something I've been sort of thinking. I mean, before all of this, between 2 full-time jobs, different schools, managing, having a sitter after school. And I mean, I felt like we were kind of just barely getting everything done when I had 8 hours a day to do my job uninterrupted, Like,
Yeah.
it was super stressful last year at this time. So I don't know. I don't even have a question there. I'm just saying it's kind of amazing to think that we're managing all of this somehow. I wouldn't have thought I wouldn't have thought I was capable of this, is kind of what I'm saying.
I feel like I didn't realize that and I guess, I feel like, I mean, you have kids, but I guess you never had that isolating feeling of being postpartum. I feel like, having 3 kids and, I had 3 kids in less than 5 years, and I, was home with all of them through maternity leave, and I found that extremely isolating. I am an enthusiastic extrovert, if you will. I like people. I like doing stuff. I like going. I rarely sit at home. The size of this apartment was never a problem before because we were literally never here. New York City was our backyard. We were constantly going. I would go to work all day, take the train in back to Sunnyside, grab my kids, go to some event in the city, and then come home, at 9 o'clock at night, take showers, go to bed, and do it all again tomorrow. And I think, like, I was not used to being as isolated as I've been, and I feel like it's like that, like, postpartum depression that kind of sets in after you have a baby. I think a lot of it has to do with, like, moms are supposed to sit at home with their baby and not do anything, and I kept having like those like those feelings come over after about a month of this, of feeling like I was like back into like postpartum mode, and I was like, this is depressing. Like, I can't go outside. I have to like stay here with my kids. Not that my kids are depressing, but there is something like, I don't know if it's hormonal related or like just feeling like the isolated thing, but I had to like, I started working out again and it kind of went away, but like I definitely had like little flashbacks of being like postpartum with children and like being stuck inside and being isolated. It felt very similar and eerie to that exact feeling. And I feel like the entire world had that feeling that new moms get when they feel that isolation after having a baby. Kind of crazy, but
Wow. Something they don't tell you about kids, I feel like, or that, people talk about how funny they are and how interesting they are, and they can be, but kids can be awfully boring.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff they're interested in is really not that interesting to me, usually.
Exactly. I mean, we're unlucky that the big kids they're really close. The 6 and almost 4-year-olds, they're extremely close. They always have been. So they have these. We've been lucky that they've kind of entertained each other for the most part. I mean, yes, they fight like cats and dogs a lot too. But my middle one, like, lives and breathes everything her brother says. So like if he wants to talk about Pokemon for 45 minutes, she will actually sit there and listen to it. So I don't have to. So
don't get me started on listening to people talk about Pokemon for 45 minutes because let me tell you, holy cow, quizzing me about Pokemon for like
hours. My husband learned how to play because he got tired of my son making up rules. My husband's like, oh yeah, all right. So he stayed up one night. I was like, oh, okay, let's play, dude. Which I found funny because he was like, oh, you want to tell me that I'm losing at Pokemon? All right, fine, I'll learn how to play. Which I found kind of funny. But back to like parenting being hard and being hard anyways. Like absolutely, I feel that. But I also feel like I was way more creative when I had that 25-30 minute commute by myself on the train every day to put in my headphones and listen to whatever I wanted. I missed, going to Starbucks, grabbing my coffee, getting on the train, headphones in, pretending like I didn't see my neighbors so I could just, head down and be by myself for a little bit. And I would like write or do something or just set my day up for success. I don't have that anymore. And I definitely I wake up and I'm just like, I feel bombarded without having that moment to breathe. I feel like that's one of the reasons that I started waking up early again, but it's still not the same. I don't know if I need to go for a walk at like 6 in the morning or what it is, but I miss my commute. I think the riding the train into the city by myself was something that I needed to be able to be successful that day. And I just don't have it anymore. But there's been a lot of good things here too. I feel like, whether it's hanging out your head at 7 o'clock every night, to just the neighbors, just everyone seems to just kind of be in it together and helping each other out, which is a pretty awesome feeling. But we're New Yorkers.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to stop that thought. What were you saying about being New Yorkers? What does that mean to you to be a New Yorker in this context?
We're New Yorkers. I mean, I didn't grow up here. What really scares me is where my parents live is that they are in a very small town. It's the county I grew up in. I'm from a 2-stoplight town in North Carolina, and they turn those stoplights off at 9 o'clock because no one's out. It's very, very, very small,
Wow.
Very rural, very Republican. I grew up there.
That's different from New York.
Very, very different. My husband, we go back sometimes. My husband's like, "Where the hell did you come from?" I moved here the day I was supposed to graduate college. I actually hopped the flight to New York because I had a job interview. I lived here for 13 years. I had my husband and I. We got married while we were living here. We had 3 kids here. Like I feel like I'm an actual New Yorker, and I feel like New Yorkers are kind of badass. Like we don't let things phase us, and when things get hard, we kind of come together, which is a really great thing and a great feeling. I mean, like someone needs something in the community. If someone steps up, like, okay, we can make that happen. I think across the street there's it's like a food bank across the street, and like seeing that and explaining that to my kids. And my son was like, "Can we do anything?" I was like, "Well, let's go look." And they were collecting diapers. I was like, and I work in baby kid world. I was like, "Oh, I can get them diapers." You're like, "Okay, who's donating? Who can donate diapers to like the place around the corner from where I am?" Or like talking to a baby food company, like, "Oh, we need baby food," and they're like, "I think the place on the corner could use baby food." "Oh, we can send you some, no problem." I'm just trying to help out, and I feel like a lot of moms are doing that too. It's a really nice feeling, but I feel like you don't see that everywhere else in the world. Is like hoarding their toilet paper, and here in New York, we're like, "You want diapers? We'll get you diapers. We'll figure it out. You guys, what do you need? What do you guys need?" And everyone else is like, "It's my toilet paper," I feel like that's like New York's just different like that.
When you're talking to people back in North Carolina now, has their attitude, perspective shifted at all? Are people starting to take this more seriously? Do people understand you, believe you when you tell them how difficult it is?
I think they believe me. I don't think they think it would ever happen where they are. And if not, it would just be the old people. And they're fine. It's just happening in nursing homes. I mean, I told my friend, I was like, it takes one redneck in Walmart to, spread the thing all over the county. You have to be like one sick redneck in Walmart not paying attention. It's just, they're not, they think it can't happen there. It only happens in places like New York. I think that a lot of people think New York is dirty, and it happened to us because, New York is dirty. Of course they would get the virus. I honestly think that. I think they think like New York's dirty and the subways are dirty, and of course they're spreading it. I think that it's not the dirty part. I think that New York was 2 weeks too late. I was at an event on Saturday, the week before the city shut down, and this event was sold out and jam-packed with parents and kids, and I think we were just way too behind. That was on Saturday. I was supposed to fly to Miami on Tuesday. My boss was like, maybe you should cancel, so we canceled. And then on Thursday, we had a positive test around us, and we all left the office that day, and we haven't been back since. But I really think that New York was just too late. I think we were like 2 weeks too late.
Well, listen, thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm going to go hit this hay before I have to wake up at 6 to get my work done.
My name is David Hoffman, and this is The Big Shut-In. I produce the show, post-production by Stephen DeLauro. It's a production of Race Car Radio. If you have feedback for me or a story that you would like to tell on the show, please feel free to reach out. thebigshutin@racecarradio.com. Race Car Radio is a division of Citizen Race Car.